Australia elections. Michael Dodd is a former political correspondent for the Australian Broadcasting Corporation in Australia and joins us now live from London. Thanks very much for talking to us here on Al Jazeera. All the opinion polls were pointing to a Labour win. Where did it go wrong? Why did the voters turn their backs on them?
Well, there is some suggestion that the Labour Party manifesto, so to speak, was too detailed, and they gave a lot of clues about what they do, which involved being tough on what they call in Australia the big end of town, tough on the capitalists, and tough on the richer people, and that seems to have scared quite a few people. You've also got to take into account that people also take polling results into account quite often in many countries when they vote. And so the polls said a big Labour win to Bill Shorten, who's now actually leaving his job as leader of the Labour Party. And they were nervous about that, and it seems enough of them were nervous, and perhaps some were not telling the pollsters exactly the way they really were going to vote. And as a result, we've got a surprise, which Scott Morrison, the Prime Minister, is describing as a miracle.
And what would you say this result says about the current state of Australian politics? Is the right wing here to stay? Do Australians not care about this climate change agenda that was presented by the Labour Party?
I think that would be a false interpretation on climate change. A lot of Australians are very concerned about climate change, and a lot of smaller parties and independents have done well by campaigning on the importance of cutting down on polluting energies like coal and things like that. So I don't think it's quite as simple as that. And in fact, interestingly, in one very interesting seat of Warringah, which is in one of the more affluent parts of Sydney, the situation is that former Prime Minister Tony Abbott has lost his seat. And that was partly because the people concerned about climate change thought he wasn't taking the issue seriously enough. So overall, it shows quite a division in Australian thinking on climate change and on quite a lot of other issues as well, including immigration, which was also a big one.
Now, we're still waiting for the final tally, the final results to come in. Still no sign of an outright majority. Would you say the results so far constitute a resounding endorsement of the Conservative Liberal Party, or what would you say the results show overall?
I don't think they show a resounding anything. I think it's as a win for Scott Morrison, it's a narrow win, and at this stage, while counting continues, we don't know whether he will actually be able to have a majority between him and his coalition partner, and whether they'll either go for a minority government, which suggests more instability in the future, or be able to get some of the independent voters or minor parties on board to support them in what could be an unstable and very slim majority government. So the future is uncertain, however the counting ends up from here.
OK, we'll have to leave it there, but thank you very much indeed for your thoughts and analysis. Michael Dodd there, speaking to us live from London.
Nice talking with you.